What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Roundtable, brought to you by Opinionated Media. We're with the boys today. We got CJ, Zach, Zay. We got Steve and Alex, who will be on here later. They're producing, doing some work right now, but you guys know what it is. This is where we talk about updates, pop culture, whatever's going on in the space. And just want to update you guys on what we're doing. We're trying to do more group content this year and kind of document like what we actually do. I feel like a lot of people don't know what we do within Opinionated Media. They just kind of see the content or the finished product, but this is a safe space for us. I definitely think this year with these roundtables, I want them to be more like intentional, more purposeful, have some more deeper discussions, I feel like, amongst each other, especially as we're getting up in age and things like that, and just stuff people can relate to and whatnot. But want to start it off with how have y'all been doing? The month's almost over, the first year of 2025. So how have y'all been doing?
Good, bro. Yeah, I've been good. Just work shit. But besides that, I think I've been really motivated this year. Been going to the gym a lot lately. More than what I was before, because I was always going pretty consistently, but just trying to take it a little more serious because I've always tried to be intentional now since I've been going a lot, and I know that I'm kind of building up more strength and stuff, but I kind of want to go with intentions of losing a little more weight. Just because, we're like you said, we're getting older and just trying to take care of my body. And, I'm a pretty, heavier set guy. So I'm trying to just get a little more, leaner, I guess. So I'm trying to do better with, meal prep and, do more cardio and stuff like that. But
protein.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but, it's been good, man. Been super motivated lately. I've been shooting 3-man weave 3 times a week usually. And then, I'll edit them and try to get them out as soon as we can, but it's been super fun just keeping up with the NBA because there's so much going on. So kind of gives me another I guess a reason to watch it more because we're doing the podcast pretty consistently. So I want to be able to come with actual good information, kind of like how y'all are with 54 yards and shit. You know what I mean? I would say y'all. You're a big influence for me wanting to do that. So doing that with ZD because he's passionate about it. Probably more than me. So it's cool getting someone that kind of likes the same sport that you do. That everyone likes football here a lot, but you don't really see a lot of people that watch basketball that much. So the fact that I was able to build that relationship with him and then do the pod and shit, it's been super fun. But that's pretty much been it, bro. Just trying to get. We have a lot of shorts that, we have edited, and we're probably going to start rolling them out here soon, just trying to get a backlog because, this past year, we weren't posting as consistently, but we were definitely working still. So, just putting in work in a different way, I guess, and just kind of, I'm excited to show people what we've been doing this past year. So we've been, kind of silent, but we've still been working, though. So it's like you said, this month went by fast, but it's crazy. A lot has happened still.
Yeah.
We're all trying to make changes and stuff, and it's usually that first month of the year where it's we do these changes, but are we gonna keep it up? And that's kind of my vibe. I kind of want to keep the same lifestyle and living for this whole year because this past year was a little roller coaster ride for me, and losing that consistency, kind of was just a part of, my journey in life. But, I'm locked in now, and I'm excited to show everybody what we got planned for the rest of the year. So, good times, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a tough thing, too, is, at the beginning of every year, I feel like a lot of people have, their New Year's resolutions and things like that. I saw the statistic earlier in the month. We're basically saying, by, month or by week 2 or 3, already 90 to 80% of the population's New Year's resolutions they've already stopped,
right,
or already haven't been continuing to do things. So that's losing weight or wanting to progress in your professional career or whatever it is. It's hard to just be consistent. And I feel like even with what we've been doing, we're going on year 6 for some of us, and year 4 for some of you guys with the content creating. I think now is the year where I think we've kind of all had our rough patches. I think now at this point we all know this is something we want to do, in whatever capacity it is, and having some harder conversations with each other to kind of align and get on the right path, especially as we're getting up in age. Wanting to make sense if that's for example, with us, not shooting as many guest podcasts currently because we're trying to, build more of a business structure. Kind of the last 5 years of the groundwork we built up with guests or other businesses or client relations, and using that in our network of people who actually want to do that. If that's producing for the client or whatever, trying to mirror those two bridges to where you can start making some money off of it, and then hit a big milestone too. Like we finally hit 1,000 on TikTok. Like that was crazy.
Let's fucking go.
That was something
Grind.
that was a grind, bro. Like, and I wasn't posting every day, but I was posting like pretty consistently. Like I set a goal to post like 25 TikToks in a month, and I was posting at least 20 a month for like the last since we made a TikTok account, and we were kind of stuck in the 700 for a while. And then something that if you guys haven't saw, we did the Sumataro video. Shout out to Isaac. Very good pizza. My personal opinion, I think it's the best pizza in Austin. Really good. We shot with him, and I think Steve had mentioned it off camera, but he was saying that he felt like that would be like the best like off topic / guest content we've done, and that's kind of something we've always wanted to do, more of that in that guest setting, touching on them, explaining like what they
Hey, yo, pause.
Yeah, I was like, all word you could have chose, you had to pick that.
Them in their environment.
No, that wasn't even me. I was like,
no, I knew once I said it. So I was trying to get to the next word.
Of all words you could have chose, you had to choose those words in that order. I was like,
but no, it was
Sorry.
good. It was no, you're good, bro. It was good, and I think we got more of that stuff planned. Like we want to shoot with Chef at Oku. Opened up a nice Filipino spot.
My Filipino
on the east
brother.
Side. So hopefully we can do that in February. It's a short month, but and I'll be out of town next week and stuff. But try to get that in, and we connected with the We Are Austin guys, which was cool. Finally got to sit down with them. So might be doing some stuff with Austin FC soon, which will be cool.
Fuck yeah.
Just some other brands. So just trying to do more stuff like that, but also making it beneficial to us. Because as soon as we do like 3 or 4 videos with restaurants and we're getting 40,000 views in a 2-3 day span, then that's something we could be like, hey, we could do this for you. This is kind of what it costs. We can run ads. Like you can kind of start, building that out and also having it benefit us at the same time. But it's been good. What about the rest of you guys? How y'all been?
I'm doing okay. Can't complain. Just working. Other than that, just trying to stay active with the camera. I know we got to do the All-American Bowl beginning of the month, right? Or middle of the month?
It was like 2 weeks ago. So like beginning of the month. Yeah, that was crazy too.
Yeah, that was a crazy
good
opportunity.
I'm proud of you too, bro. Like, I mean, you kind of like were the DP of the day. Like you.
Oh wow.
You took control. You shot.
Yeah. Well, I got to use Alex's camera, which is amazing to shoot football with. I will say. Threw on a 1-400 lens on it, and with it, it's an A7 IV. So with it being a low light beast, I didn't have to worry about the ISO or anything like that. Just point and shoot, and get that 4K quality content. But I mean, overall, just doing that, like I remember sitting there and like kind of having like a third person moment, like fuck, I'm really sitting at the field on the Alamo Dome right now and shooting this All-American Bowl. Like, hey, I'm on TV. Like all that,
Yeah,
but
that's crazy, bro.
But that was pretty cool. But other than that, just been trying to stay active with the camera, and I was in San Antonio this past weekend with family, and we were like, me and my little brother were walking around, and I was like, hey, like I got my camera on me, I'm gonna use you as a model while we're down here by the Riverwalk, and so I got some of pictures of him in his outfit, and he's all like Carhartted out or whatever. And so I was there, and I was like, oh wow, like maybe I'll do a little Carhartt like promo or type shit or something like that, like how Bert did with the Twisted Tea when it came to the 4th of July or whatever. It was just like, I don't know, I just put something like a little idea in my head. But other than that, just been working at the plumbing life and all that, laying pipe, getting good at it. You dig? Just in work, not outside of work.
Not
Don't
yet.
do that.
Yeah, for sure.
For the extended pod.
Yeah. That's it for the Patreon.
Which I honestly like. I was talking to the We Are Awesome guys, and they have a bigger following than us, but they started a Patreon and they got like 100 signups.
Really?
And I was
Shout out to them, bro.
Yeah, shout out to them. And I was like, man, like that's always been something I wanted to do, especially like I feel like I kind of wanted us to get to like 5,000 followers to where it made sense to do.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of stuff we do that like takes a lot of time, higher quality videos that I think if we could maybe, you know, offer a service where people pay $5 a month or whatever, they can get some of those like better videos that might take us a month or two to get access to, or even if they get them early, or you know, even stuff like this extended podcast where we talk about like more detailed stuff, you know, and kind of like have this be like a baseline thing. That's good. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, going to your point earlier about like people quitting their the New Year's resolutions like that. Yeah, I think, you know, not trying to like hit us because everyone goes with the whole thing, but health has been a good priority. Long story short, something happened to my dad. He broke his leg. So I was like, he's getting up in years like that. So I was like, that was a personal wake up call. Yeah. So, CJ and I have been in the gym quite a bit lately, trying to eat healthier, like that. But trying to do like diet changes like progressively over time, not like a drastic, like, all right, like today I'm gonna like stop eating everything that like, and then it's like that. So
it's all about, you know, just like setting a balance within yourself, like being able to do that. I think movement is key. Like even if you're not, you know, running miles, like we got this boy Alex about to run a half marathon here soon, but you know, running athlete, running or just like moving, like just move like 30 minutes a day if you can, if that's, you know, stationary, like those walking pads are big. I kind of want to get one of those, especially like with remote work. Like I feel like you can like literally have that under your desk and just like get your steps in that way. And yeah, it's huge, bro. The health, like all of us, it's really cool to see like all of us like really focusing on that, you know, whatever that may be. Like if that's eating healthy, if that's working out consistently, because it's hard to consistently work out and go to the gym, but then like the diet is a whole different beast and getting into that too. So that's good, man. I'm proud of all of y'all. But going off of that, you know, we got some topics. I think we're just going to kind of, you know, freeform talk. We got some stuff that, you know, Rue had mentioned on here. Shout out the boy Steve.
You ready?
But Carlos, since he's not here today, we're going to do his. He said, what was your best highlight of 2024? If you guys can think of any.
I think I know mine.
All right.
It was definitely getting the new whip, bro. Like that was for sure. That's been something I've been, you know, working probably like 2.5, 3 years really since my car started to like mess up. And you know, not obviously because you should, but like I wasn't taking care of it, and it was just kind of like one of those, like it was my second car technically, but my first one that I was like making payments and stuff, and I had paid it off, but I never was taking care of it. So you know, I learned from that, and now being able to get, you know, a Tesla and stuff, it's super crazy, honestly. Like the first couple of months for me were like, damn, this is really my whip. And honestly, it's still like that, you know. I try not to lose that, you know. Obviously, I still have the other whip out there, so you know, I'll probably drive it here soon just to make sure it's all good, and like it just takes me back because I'm like, damn, like I really used to drive this car around, and I'm in a Tesla, you know what I mean? So that for sure was a huge moment for me. That was probably like the highlight, like, and you know, just being able to like drive places and not worry about if like my car is gonna fuck up or not having AC and shit like that. Now it's like, damn, it gets cold in my car, I gotta turn this shit up, you know, I gotta turn the air down type shit, and it never was like that. So you know, that was probably for sure for me just the highlight of the year.
For me, it's like that. I don't exactly have like one exact highlight, but it's like basically everyone else's like basic highlights. I was like him getting his car, him getting his job as a plumber, and then him running the marathon, just to name a few. It's like that. I mean, I can go on here for 20, 30 minutes, pause, and talk about like everyone's like, you know, highlight. But you know, that's been my thing, is like kind of seeing all your friends around, like do something cool and important for them, so like that. So that's personally been my highlights, is their highlights. So
Zay?
It's kind of head us, but
man, I mean, I guess going to Mexico for the first time, that was a pretty good highlight. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was.
You had fun?
Yeah, it was.
You had a good time, huh?
If you guys haven't, make sure you guys go watch one of the recaps.
We definitely talk about
They
it.
go more in depth on that.
Yeah, we talk about it. But no, that
it was a
it was a really
the
good
reason
trip.
I think of it as a really fun trip, it was like a good fun trip for like at least us. Like it was
Yeah.
us four as our
Yeah.
first trip together.
Yeah.
Like going
Right.
something out of the country like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
really
interesting.
anywhere. Like
was
No,
Yeah, because we've always taken group
I mean, we've
trips,
gone
but
to
like
like
not.
Dallas. We've gone to
yeah.
Well, so even
Right.
with that, like I didn't go to Mexico, and then like we still
Yeah.
haven't had like one
Every-
trip where everyone
yeah,
because
where
even
everyone-
Broken
Broken-
that was like
yeah.
the closest, but then Carlos didn't go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But like
Facts.
Steve went. You know what I mean? So like we've had like our group like not all go to San Diego. you know?
yeah, bro. It's always been someone,
Yeah.
and that's that'll change soon. That's
and,
gonna change,
and that's
for
like
sure.
kind of like why I'm going so hard with the business stuff and whatnot. So if we want to take a trip this year at the end of the year, we can like go on the company's dime. No one has to pay for anything. Like that'd be cool. Even if like the company just pays for the place we're staying at or the
Right.
flights, like
Yeah,
something, right?
anything,
Just being able
yeah.
to take it off as our plate, and then also kind of reward ourselves for the hard work we do.
Right.
So yeah, that's been good. For me, I would say personal highlight was probably I had like kind of a weird year, up and down. Like kind of I ended up leaving my job, and then it didn't work for a while. I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Learned a lot about finance, which is crazy right now. Like you got stocks changing every day. Something cool that Carl's isn't here, but I've really been getting him more in tune with like what's going on in like the stock market, like how to invest, asking me questions, and like even though I'm not making money, like helping my friends out, I don't really care to do that. It's more so now I have enough knowledge to help people out. Like I want to help Zay out, anybody that has a question, like be able to just kind of provide my insight that what I've learned. And obviously I'm not perfect with it, but being able to just help people out. So I would say just kind of like learned a lot about myself, and then taking like we did a lot of cool stuff last year, but since I was going through some personal stuff, it didn't really hit me that like, oh, we're at DreamCon, oh, we're shooting with Xavier, oh, we're doing Elite.
Yeah.
Like all these things.
Yeah,
we
I
were
was in the
doing,
same boat.
like
because we did that. Like we
Yeah.
shot UT Pro Day, and
too,
then
yeah.
being able to work with Xavier like multiple times during the year and all that. But like I was like how you said, we all had like our personal things going on.
Yeah.
But like doing all that, I was like, oh, I'm really doing this, but it didn't feel like it.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's too like being more in the moment, like wanting to document like what's going on. I've been seeing some video inspiration. Shout out my boy Mikey Ricks, but he does like these videos like weekly or every couple of weeks where he like just sits in front of a camera. He says a couple things and he like shows like a little highlight reel of like some of the work he's been doing. So I kind of want to do something that's similar, like because I do meet like a lot of cool people in time. Like we do cool things. So I want to like start doing like something where I either record a short form on like Monday and then like show the highlights of like what's been going on with everybody, like what we've been doing to kind of like let people know like we're doing some cool stuff instead of us just being stagnant. Right. And like providing updates. But I've also had like a weird like balance with like social media. Like I feel like I'm at a point now in my age to where I only want to see what my friends and close friends are doing that I don't see all the time. And then also like keep up with trends and whatnot. But I'm not like really posting for like any validation. I'm really just posting for the brand to try to like continue for us to grow and make this a sustainable thing. So that's like an interesting dynamic because we're not going to want to shoot content forever, so like trying to figure out what are those next steps to kind of not do that for us. So okay,
I just wanted to close. See the shirt.
Real quick, I was gonna ask. You were talking about finance earlier, it's like that, and like the whole stock markets like that. So something happened yesterday with basically one of the AI competitors.
Deepseek.
Yeah, it came out and basically wiped out. I think it was some to the tune of, and don't quote me on this number, but it was like $2 trillion. From the stock market. With this product, and I was like,
NVIDIA CEO lost like $20 billion in net worth or something.
Yeah, and like that's in like a 24-hour span.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that? Like,
I think it's interesting because, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where people just panic. I mean, obviously the Trump meme coin came out, and then like it grew to like 70 or 80 bucks, and it was originally like $20. No, not even. It was like $3.
Yeah, it was super cheap.
It was super cheap. So like a lot of people made money, and then like a lot of people got rug pulled on it, right?
For sure.
So I think that happens all the time in the market. I think what's going on with this is interesting because, to me, I just think people just panic, and like NVIDIA is a company that has principles. You know what they're gonna do. They have foundational things. So to me, I don't understand why people would like dump their assets to invest in something they have no idea about. And like yeah, it could seem cool, it could seem whatever, but I feel like you just have to go with what's been working and stick to that. Even when I tell people, I'm like, yeah, Nvidia stock price dropped to 118. Right now, it's up $7 again the next day. So I'm like, you should really, if you're investing anyways, you should just hold all your investments. Maybe move stuff around here and there, but I never think you should dump stuff like that because I think it's just kind of foolish. Like, unless you're a day trader, you shouldn't be doing that. I feel like all your investments need to be an exit plan when you're older for like retiring. So like you should just hold. And I even saw this tweet where it was like you should look at your stuff every quarter, like not every day. Like some people are getting on Fidelity check. I'm like, you're not, unless you're like putting money in that every day, like it's not going to change drastically. Like you might be up $7, maybe $10, but like you're not going to have any life-changing things. So yeah, no, it's interesting that that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and to your point, yeah, there's no point if you're like just doing regular stocks. There's no point looking at it every day. Look at it basically whenever you're gonna pull out. That's just my personal opinion. Exactly. But like, I mean, unless you're starting to do like option trading like that, but that's a whole different, more advanced
option calls. Yes, it's a little advanced. So Steve had a topic on here. As we get older, why do we believe we personally outgrow relationships, people, and activities? I thought this one was interesting because I feel like we're all at a point, like we all kind of like hang out together, and we have like our friends outside of this, but I think that's interesting because we are getting older. So I feel like you naturally gravitate towards different people. Like there's people that aren't doing the content thing, so you're like not really around them, or there's people that are still going out all the time, or there's people that are single, which is fine, whatever. But like there's different like areas of life. Like people are getting married. We got the boy Dre getting married in a couple months. Like I plan on, moving in those directions. Some of the other people in our friend group are planning on doing that too. But I think, it's interesting because it's actually like a tough thing to kind of grasp. Like I'd reached out to one of my boys from college, just seeing how they were. And like, we barely talked. Like it was literally like a 1-word response and then like nothing after that. And for me, I'm just like, I've always been a good person with relationships. I've always tried to maintain relationships with my friends and people I've met, or even if it's just like people we met through this, like I always try to, I'm not going to talk to you every day, but if I see you, like I'll have a conversation with you. Like at the Riser event, saw a bunch of like former guests on the off topic, and like I made sure to at least go up to them and talk to them, even if it was for a couple minutes, because that's the person I am. And like you just never know what people have going on, or hearing about what they're doing, or even learning from them. So I think that's interesting. But yeah, just outgrowing people, relationships. I mean, mainly the activities too. Like I was telling Zach off camera, now when the weekend hits, I don't even like think about going out or doing anything. Like I want to just chill. If I can get some extra time at the gym, I try to do that, or spend some time with Kat, or even with y'all. Like we went to 54th Street on Saturday. Like just trying to do more intentional things like that, hang out with everyone, and stuff like that. So what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Let's see what the boys think.
I would say I know I have friends that like to drink and go out, and then I know I have friends that like to be at home people, and it depends on how I'm feeling at that time. But like you said, it's like one of those things where you gravitate towards like kind of what you're feeling more and all that. But I mean, personally, something that I think I've learned is just like, I mean, I enjoy the nights going out and all that, but I'd rather just be at home and like just chill and anything. But I mean, I think I'm kind of enjoying my alone time and all that. One thing that my sister told me this past weekend that I kind of thought interesting, all that stroking time that I get now.
That's crazy.
One thing that my sister had told me, that I was like, the heck, I feel like I am around, but it's not like that. But she like hit me on the shoulder and she's like, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us and all that. I was like, the hell do you mean by that? Like, I always hang out with you and like family and all that. And she's like, no, you don't. You bell us for your friends. But in the other thing, I feel like there's times where I don't see y'all quite a bit. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not with them and I'm not with y'all, what the hell am I doing? Then I'm like, usually nothing.
Yeah, just
chilling, just usually at the house. But like kind of just like enjoying my alone time.
That's good.
And
That's
all
good.
that.
What you, Zach?
So the question is like, why do people like outgrow one another? Is that just
why do people outgrow relationships, people, and activities?
Yeah, so I think it's natural occurrence over time. I was like, it's just everyone changes like that, and they kind of look at things differently, and they get new perspectives on things, and then it's just natural, like maybe like that relationship wasn't that good to begin with, and then it's like you kind of like progress over time, like that, and you realize like maybe that person didn't value the relationship as much, like that. So basically, like, they stop kind of reaching out. You don't really value it that much either, like and you figure that out later on. So you stop reaching out. So then it's kind of mutual separation. But yeah, I think it's like a life progression. Like everyone changes. Like they change, you change. That's how it goes.
Maturity too. Like I think everyone matures at different levels, and I think like when you start to mature and kind of figure out what you want in life, whether that be just having a family, being successful, and whatever that is, or spending your time you do get on what's purposeful for you. That's CJ shooting 3-man weave, or us meeting together. Shooting content, hanging out, whatever, you kind of do put that in perspective, because then you're like, I only see this person when it's time to go out. I only see this person at the gym. I only see that, so stuff like that. I think it's just super interesting to kind of think of, and then also makes you reflect back on like when we were younger. You had your crowd of people in college you'd go out with. If you go to college like out of state, like everyone kind of is doing their things. Like I get on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever, and I see all my boys doing something good, career-wise and whatnot, people getting married. I have friends that I was roommates with that are having kids and stuff. I'm like, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like being like, okay, like I guess I'm not that important to you because I didn't even know like that was going on. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of being like real with yourself, and then you're like also aware, like, okay, like my friends are who I really see all the time. And like even if it's like once a week or, a couple times a month, like I think you really just start to be aware of that, and it's just natural. I mean, once people start having families, and their time is just with their kids and their wives and loved ones, so.
Yeah, kind of, piggybacking off of everything y'all said, because, I agree with everything. Just the thing that I realize the older you get is you're going to prioritize whatever you want to do, and that might not be what you were wanting to do a couple years ago or even last year or whatever it may be. And it's, everyone is on like a different path. We're all trying to achieve whatever it is, and we have roadblocks, but we got to figure out how to get there. And the thing that, regardless of what it is, like excuses or whatever you call it, it's, you're going to do what you're going to want to do at the end of the day. And I feel like that's kind of a reason why, people kind of start, not cutting off, but like, I hang out with you, like y'all were saying, at certain times. If I want to go out, I'm gonna hit up these certain people, or if, I'm wanting to shoot content, or, kind of lock in, I'm gonna start talking to these people a little bit more. And I feel like, it's not a bad thing, of course, but it's just kind of how life is. And, we're all on different paths, but, just because we're not talking to you as much, or we're not doing these things, it's like, it's still love at the end of the day, and I feel like that's regardless of if I hang out with you every day or every week or once a month or once a quarter, whatever it is, it's like, it's always going to be like anytime we hang out with each other, like we were hanging out with each other yesterday, or like how it used to be type of vibes. So, I feel like it's crazy, bro. Like you said, we're starting. I was talking to Zach about it too before we started. It's like, damn, like, I saw all the questions that everyone was putting in the Discord. It's like, damn, these are kind of like deep questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like, oh, like us or tits, bro, or you know what I mean? Like shit, like, and like I feel like that's just kind of like where we were at that time of our life. So we were wanting to talk about stuff like that. But now that we're kind of getting older, starting to start families, starting to really lock in what we really want to do. It's just like progression. So I feel like it's super dope to like see that this is kind of where we're wanting to take our content creation, so.
Oh, for sure. So I had a discussion on here. What are
Talk
some...
to us.
You said, I think you said toss this.
No, I said,
Hey,
I said
yo.
talk to us.
What are some main goals y'all want to hit before y'all turn 30?
Ooh.
That's a good question for people on the podcast.
Yeah. Since Zay's not talking too much, I have to take his spot as usual, where he usually says something, oh yeah, for sure.
He would know. He's been editing the podcast lately, so.
Yeah. I got I got Exhibit A through Z over here. So, anyways, one thing
I
personally,
didn't say anything.
is like better health, it's like that. I want to mean like better like cardio shapes like that. Like if I need to go run a mile, shit, all right.
Yeah.
Not like, oh damn, I have to go run a consistent mile. Like, oosh,
Yeah.
probably not gonna happen. But yeah, weight, health. Want to learn I want to get like a hobby that I'm like very passionate about. I don't know what the fuck that is yet, but
I feel that.
yeah. Cool. What about y'all?
Shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think by 30 we can start like make this shit like full time for us. I feel like that's like a major goal for us. That's 2 years for us, 3 years for some other people, 4, whoever, whatever it may be. I feel like by the time all of us get to 30 or maybe like a little before it, like we can make this shit full time, bro.
Yeah.
Like I feel like especially just like our trajectory right now, the connects we have, which have like all been organic, you know what I mean? Like it hasn't really been like a forced type relationship. It's like we positioned ourselves really well, and it sounds kind of weird, but like we grew up in an area that was like booming, and we just happen to be like from here, and like we're authentic. So I feel like that's something that we can really achieve for sure. Like I feel like these next couple of years are probably gonna be crazy, and it's gonna be probably wild looking back at this shit and like thinking about it. But yeah, I feel like by the time I'm 30, I want to be able to make opinionated everything underneath it like full time, making money and like being able to like not have to go into my 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a huge goal for me.
Yeah, too. Yeah, I think like I was actually, thinking about stuff, and I was just like, I'm content with like my job right now, working till I'm 30. Great benefits, great corporate company. Immediate like matching on investments, and then also just like insurance and stuff. Because like I was also thinking about the entrepreneur route. I was talking to Kat. I was like, realistically, like you can make enough money to like cover your bills, but then you got to think about like what you would lose when you leave. Like if that's, investments or, healthcare, like it's a little bit more expensive for entrepreneurs, like having to pay on their own for these policies and things like that. So, yeah, I think, what you were saying, like piggybacking off of that, like definitely want to be able to do this full time, whatever capacity that is, if that's the content paying us, if that's, us maybe helping other people's dreams come to life, but we're making, pretty penny off of it. Like won't complain in that capacity either. Like you were saying, trying to use our organic connections that we have now. And like, that's why I've been working on this damn outreach sheet. Cause I feel like the last 5 years or so, we've been pretty unselfish with like saying yes to a lot of stuff, doing a lot of stuff for free, just creating opportunities for ourselves to kind of position ourselves in the right place. And now I think we have the skill sets, and also just people we know that have the skill sets. Is like, we can't do this, I know somebody that can go do this and help us do this, and making it mutually beneficial for all parties. So definitely doing that. I definitely want us to get into a studio. I just think for like creative flow, just making it more real for everyone. Like me, CJ, and Carlos, we had toured a place probably like at the beginning or end of last year. Just kind of like seeing what it would look like, just kind of like envisioning everything, like what we could do, how it would look like, having a prime location in, a downtown spot. Every time I see like the Hitch Media guys post something, I'm like, damn, bro, I can't wait for us to have something like that. So where we can just walk in and I have to like set up everything every time. If like 3-man weaves popping off, like they have their own set, maybe like their own like little basketball propaganda, and like they can just turn on the camera. Same thing for PCT, Off Topic, 54 Yards, all the shows, and then potential future shows, right? Like being able to bring in other people that like other interests, maybe that's baseball, soccer, fighting, anything, like to where we can kind of already have the capital and the branding, and then we just bring in creators as talent to like do the content, and that's kind of where our roles shift into more of like owners, to where we're we still do what we like to do, but we know we don't have to like show up and always be on camera to like either make money, or if we have the media side of things, like delegate it to where it's bringing us revenue. And I would say some personal goals for me by 30 is to get my CPA. It's something I've been working on for a while. Kind of haven't been taking it as serious as times, because Opinionated is more so consumed me in areas to where, at times I was like, this is what I really want to do. So I kind of got to like sacrifice that to get to get this to a good point. And I think this is in a good point now. And now I have like more resources and stuff to accomplish that because it isn't cheap, but being able to work for a corporate company that can help me pay for that and stuff like that is great. And then also getting into a house. We've been talking about investments earlier on the podcast, but just really wanting to get into a house. Tired of renting, like I think about it all the time when I pay rent. I'm like, dude, just giving money away, like it's not going towards anything. So really trying to focus my finances and get that in order. And just travel more. Going to New York in a couple weeks. Like never been there. Super excited to do that. And then not only travel more like myself or with Kat, but with y'all. Like we're gonna all start having families one day and whatnot. And even when we have kids and stuff, just being able to, we can get a weekend to hang out, even if that's just going to some of these cool places we see on Instagram that are in Texas, where it's like you get away for a weekend or stuff like that. Just being able to do more stuff like that, great life experiences because we're just getting older. Like don't like you're like, oh man, I'll do it at some point. Like, nah, if you got the money, like go do it, right? So just get to a better with balance, I would say too. Yeah.
Okay.
Popcorn Zay.
Popcorn.
Popcorn's exactly.
I guess by 30. One personal one. I'd like to be a licensed plumber. You dig?
Okay.
That'd be cool to know on the side. Like they said, or like and piggyback off of y'all. Be full time with the photography or the content creating. But having that trade and knowing all that wouldn't hurt. Gotta go pick up a side gig real quick, or there's some pipe busted at the studio. Don't worry,
I got
Zay's on the case.
Yeah,
you dig?
facts.
I lay it right.
Oh, yeah, I know you do.
But
Major
I mean,
pause.
other than other than that, just kind of like figure out life. Hopefully by then, just kind of like me personally, I would like to have a house. I wouldn't like to be renting at that time. I know we did talk to some people at Riser about some real estate agents and all that, but we got bought with Bash, you dig?
Yeah,
Or
the realtor that will fight for
you. Or was it Deja or whatever?
Deja.
But yeah, not to at least do the content creating full time, be a licensed plumber, and then that way I can fall back on that. Just shits and giggles, it's fun, laying pipe. But yeah, and then just gonna be financially somewhat stable. So I got this guy getting his CPA.
Facts.
Yeah. I think that's just something too. Like, just put more stuff in perspective. Like, I think even like with us having like monthly goals, quarterly goals, yearly goals, like seeing stuff that's tangible on paper and like having something to attack. Like, I don't know if you guys see it, but like every week I do like a to-do list in the Discord, and like it gives me something to kind of like focus on for that week. And I'm also not beating myself up if I can't like get to everything, because those lists are pretty like unrealistic for a reason, but like it tries me to like push for that. So then if I'm like, if I'm literally sitting there doing nothing, I can look at that list and be like, I could do this right now, or I can do this. It might not take long or whatever. So just be more organized and continuing to lead better. Like never thought I'd see myself as like this leader, right? But just trying to like learn every day, learn from y'all, and then also just learn from like my peers, other people that are more successful than we are, and just kind of learning how to really build a business. Because always thinking of like an exit plan or a long-term thing instead of just taking it day by day, which you should do. But I also do think you have to think like that, because if you don't, you're going to either fizzle out, or you're going to not adjust with the trends, or you're going to be kind of stuck. And then what was working years ago might not be working now. Like a lot of these, content creators now, like some of the fishing ones or whatnot, like they're not really getting any views, or like car people. And I just watched this dude in blue talking about like the struggling car YouTubers now. Like, it's super hard to like grow that space, grow that industry, and like if you don't have a ton of money, like it's hard to be successful. And then a lot of these people go get in a lot of debt, and then they have no skills built up from those years they were making content, and then they're kind of like just in a bad situation. So yeah, just focusing on all that. I think that's good.
I knew you were a leader when I first saw you back in when I was a sophomore in
Walking
football.
into the
Yeah, on the
halls
field.
of Fleurville High School.
No, on the field.
Oh,
and,
on the field.
on the field. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
on
I
the
know.
field.
Yeah,
on the
this
side.
is
It was
Not yet.
Kumple.
pre-fulfilled.
Yeah, it was Kumple at the time. You did.
It was
No,
what?
bro, I kind of want to talk about that, because that is like something, obviously we see what can become of like content creation and stuff. But it's crazy to think that, you know, like you said, a lot of these car YouTubers, TikTokers, whatever it may be, like they built up a great following and they were able to make whatever money at the time. But when it like shifts and like you said, like, you know, that's an expensive hobby. So like not everyone's going to be into it, or, you know, these things may not be as
stop watching
it, right? It's like
content.
what is there to do now? So like, you know, I'm not worried about that whenever we get to that point, because we're pretty, you know, smart. We got good people around us, so we know what we should be doing. But like, it's tough for people that, you know, you gotta think a lot of the YouTubers in general, not even just in that space, like they're probably just like, you know, I watch a lot of YouTube and I kind of see who they are. They're kind of strange, you know, like they're like a little weird, you know, they record themselves, they like edit themselves, so it's like, you know, when you become successful from that, it's like you don't really know what to do, because like I built my skills like through the internet, and I was able to like get a following, because whatever it is that you're interested in, more than likely there's a following for it, regardless of what it may be. And it's something that like this day and age with like internet culture and stuff, it like makes people like they get a lot of fame really quick and they don't know what to do with it. So like, it's kind of scary, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Just to say, well, just to him saying like the fucking internet's scary or whatever. He showed us this video the other day of this stinky ass motherfucker.
Oh,
and
He's called Mr. Piss Air. I don't want to like give him clout, but
Yeah,
like, I mean, obviously,
I'm gonna look it up.
I would say not to look it up, because it is pretty fucking nasty.
it is
on?
pretty
Like,
fucking nasty.
He's on like
dude.
TikTok and shit like that.
But like, dude's like basically lives in a condemned house.
yeah, that dude is like it's insane.
And like
yeah.
collects his piss and like
582K.
yes,
yes,
bro.
dude is like ashy.
That's crazy.
Yes, like his
Like-
TikToks get like millions of views, bro. It's pretty
It's
like
fucking
it's crazy, because
wild.
like I said, like I see shit like that on the internet. I'm like, bro, we can make it. You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
just
which blows my mind.
because like that takes no skill, and it's like
they give the
like,
wrong people platform.
yes.
Yes.
And it's like one of those things where, like you said, bro, he is like on the verge. Like he should probably be like in an insane asylum type shit.
for sure.
Like
Someone said bro's living in Resident Evil.
it's
Yes,
crazy. It's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
I'm watching the house tour.
I'll send the video to you. His name's Canel.
this
I don't know
is
if y'all know who he is. He's like a
get off
prank.
that shit.
He's like a
bro,
prank
it was hurting
YouTuber
my
and shit.
stomach watching
That
it.
shit
I was
is
like,
He went to his house, bro. He went to his house.
It's like a
and-
YouTube video.
yes,
Yeah,
and
did a
like
stream.
he like he was
I'd
like
have been that bitch in a hazmat suit.
He
He
had
was.
a hazmat suit.
he was. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, and like that's.
was
I don't
a
know if it's
painter
real, because everything on the
Well, yeah,
internet
not
you
a
don't
real
really know.
hazmat
if
suit.
it's
It's
real.
like a
I was thinking
painter
about that. I was
suit.
like, is that canola oil?
No, I
Is
think
that
he
piss?
he
No,
really
that's
pisses
actual.
in
But
it.
the thing is, it's like, bro, the fact that one, I mean, I hope he lives, but like
He's young too.
being in like
He's like
like
18.
I don't know, man. Like that shit. Like at some point, like you're saying, people are like watching because they're just like, what the fuck,
Yes.
right? Like they're like, this
Yeah.
is nuts. Like this is crazy. But then when you're 10 years from now, nobody's gonna be watching that shit.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Right.
like, but then you've already built this brand on some crazy inhumane shit. Then like, how are you gonna get partnerships? How are you gonna build
Yeah.
like?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But like,
Yeah.
that's the weird part we're in, because it's like you see shit like that going viral, but then you see authentic stuff like this, or us doing something like sports, which will never. Which is, I'm so glad we like are so sports heavy, because that shit will be around until we die.
Yeah, forever.
And like,
And longer.
and there's just so many cool opportunities with sports. I think nowadays, like the age and industry is so young. Like people are like, now you're seeing all these athletes doing podcasts now.
Yeah.
You're seeing like more content, like these media teams for these team or these college football teams
Yeah.
are crazy. You're seeing, you know, more people like us who,
Just even the players themselves, like hiring their own media people.
yeah, just more people
Like-
like us just starting podcasts and shows and talk shows and stuff like that. Like that's really sustainable. But it's like seeing shit like that. It's like,
That's the problem too. Is
the
like
fuck?
it's that kind of like highlights overarching problem with society is like basically it's like like I want my 10 seconds of fame. I'm willing to do anything for it.
anything.
So that basically it's like it's
Anything.
basically no pun intended. It's a pissing contest because it's like
Dude,
all
I
right.
didn't even know that existed. That's
Neither did I
Yeah.
until I saw that YouTube
Yeah,
video.
he showed it to us, and he was like, "Y'all see that link?" And we were like, "No." And
That's
he's like,
because
"All
I
right,
sent
y'all
it
gotta
to
watch
them.
it."
I literally was like, bro, y'all need to watch. This is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. And like he did another video
He
where
lives in the U.S.
yes, he lives in like Missouri, So that his name is Canel. He does like pranks and shit, but he also live streams. He did a video with him, and he was like, if this gets to 55,000 likes, I'll do a live stream with him. And he did a 24/7 like in that house live stream. So yeah, it's crazy. I'll send it to y'all, bro. It's
Hell
fucking
no.
nuts. I'll put it. Yeah, it's
that's
nasty.
That's
as fuck.
crazy. Yeah,
Carlos, link right here.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, bro, what the
And
what the fuck?
actually, I'm about to give away a business idea right here, like rough rip. So, yeah, whoever's listening.
got our lawyers ready.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
facts. Yeah, I mean, the thing is too is like,
real
you know,
ones.
with AI and stuff like that, that's
Look at that camera when you're talking.
I know. I'm like having to come try and talk to y'all, but I'm like,
No, yeah, let
Anyways,
the audience know.
So the crazy thing is that you can have AI read news now. You can have it generate fake images and videos. You can have it, theoretically over time edit videos. So right then and there, you have basically the full front to back, basically where it's able to generate like a TikTok video on what's going on in the news today. You never did anything. The AI literally just created front to back whole video for people to watch.
Dude, what the? Yeah, bro. It's getting to a weird point, and like I was talking to Bash about it too, because I was like, the people that are successful in business that are older did it a certain way. They know what they're doing. They've obviously been successful. They made money from it. But then you got people like us who grew up with social media. Like we grew up with all these apps becoming what they are, and then you also have like people like us that are learning like videography, content, whatever that can help these businesses. But then there's like a weird layer because you have like us in the middle, you have the older people that are older than us, and you have all these young people doing crazy shit like we just talked about. And it's like, where's it gonna sway? Like I feel like more of these businesses are gonna kind of evolve the younger model, but then also I feel like a lot of them are like, we really don't need to do that because we already are successful doing what we're doing.
And I think also too, like the whole TikTok ban kind of like highlighted people that weren't diversified. So for example, like people that had all our eggs in one basket for being a content creator on TikTok, I think got banned. Guess what? They're like, oh my gosh,
am I gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I was like,
I thought that was so dumb, bro. Because I'm like, why we've always, when we started this, we've always been like, let's post everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Like, you can't limit yourself. I don't care if the audience is like, you can still diversify your content. Like, even if it's blowing up on TikTok and you post it on Instagram Reels and it gets like way less traction, just continue to do that because it's like you never know when we're kind of held liable to these platforms. Like, you never know when they can shut down and like or you can get banned on some dumb shit. Like you got to always be willing to. I mean, even when new stuff comes out all the time, like I might not be on it that long. I'm gonna at least try it out, you know. And if it works, it works, right? So,
right. Yeah, no, that's the crazy thing. It's like, going back to like the TikTok ban. Like I don't really use TikTok, but obviously a lot of people do, and it's. I tell Zach I saw this funny, like it was a TikTok, but I see a lot of my like TikToks on Twitter. So like I'm not on the app, but people save them and they'll post them and stuff like that. And one of them was like, after this TikTok ban, it was like this dude who came up to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, can I get a scroll real quick? Cause I'm fiending." And then he like goes on TikTok and he's like, he's like, "Oh, bet, appreciate it, bro." And it's crazy because like. I don't use TikTok. You know what I mean?
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't. I've never had TikTok.
Yeah, you've never made a TikTok.
I've never made a TikTok.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've
but
never
like,
had it. So like this whole time, I was like,
Well,
I think the reason why people like are so like attached to it, it is like it's their social media essentially.
It's their brain.
Yeah, it's like that's what they just hop on, and it's easier to get a lot of followers on there and like attention because there's so many people on it. So I think that's why people are like. Going back to what you were saying about like, oh, like we post on everything. We post on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, this, that. Like people, like I don't think they're like thinking like that. They're thinking of like, oh, how can I just get followers? And I feel like TikTok was that way to do that because, there's a point where, you'd hop on Twitter, you'd be tweeting a lot and like people would just follow you randomly. And like it's not really like that anymore. So it's kind of shifted over to TikTok. And, like you were saying, when it got banned, everyone's like fiending for it. And I'm like, well, we're chilling. Like you could hop on IG Reels, you could hop on YouTube Shorts and see the exact same thing. But I think it's kind of just not it's not the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people they moved over to Reels for a little bit, but now that like TikTok's back, it's like, oh, I'm just hopping on TikTok. It's just more convenient.
And
for
that's
them,
the weird thing too to me because like I'll get on TikTok every now and then, like, and I'll watch stuff like if I'm like using a restroom, chilling, whatever. But I get on there and I post and I get off, and I feel like. I just think like since we like make content it's like different for us. I feel like the average person, they're like, oh, TikTok has everything for us. But for us, since we like make content, we also like are more open to other stuff. Like we're like, oh, I'm gonna watch. Like I personally like IG Reels.
Yeah, IG Reels is
Same.
good.
I like
Because,
IG Reels.
like
more.
I send like I like there's times where like I know like y'all can tell when I'm like actually scrolling on there because I'll send like 4 in a row in the group chat.
Yeah,
100%.
same.
It'd be like
Same.
that. It'd be like
Everyone
that.
does that.
Yeah,
everyone
when,
does
when I
that.
send 4 or 5 in a row, I'm just scrolling.
Yeah. And then like but like also
All
just
bangers,
like
though.
I was like I was arguing with Kat about it. I was like, yeah, I just don't know why everyone's so like stressed about TikTok because I don't know, bro. Like the content that I just saw that one guy like it's so like I don't know, like it's just so like shitty. I get like no pun intended, but like then you get on IG Reels and I see like this cinematic ass like crazy shit, or I see like these skits that I'll send y'all like those animated ones. I'm like, oh, this took like some like creativity, some like actual thought. Like someone didn't just pick up a phone and like do some dumb shit and it went viral. Like these people on Instagram or these other apps are actually trying like to make good content. And I feel like with TikTok, like there is like don't get it wrong, like there is creators that make good content on there, but most of it is just like anyone could do it. And I guess like for the average person, that's why they gravitate towards it because like anyone can make
Yeah,
that.
you can hop on Capcut and literally post a TikTok from Capcut.
And I was more upset.
I found
I was
that
more upset at
hilarious.
Capcut.
Me too, bro.
I'm being dead ass. I was like, bro,
really?
I can't edit. Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Bro,
I thought that. Well, I've never used CapCut either. So.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well,
you
just
could.
for like content, like
Yeah.
I was upset about that because I was like, man, like that's like one of the best tools out there for any creator. Like you have all these templates.
Yeah.
Like if you're not the best editor, you can make some crazy stuff on there because it's already like pre-made and stuff. And if you have a creative eye and you kind of know how to use the software, you can make some good shit. But like, that's what I was upset about. I was like, damn, no CapCut anymore. Like we were literally CJ texted me the next day and was like, bro, have you ever heard of this? Like, because we were already trying to figure out what was next for making the next content piece.
We got it on the docket, Cam.
So last couple things, Steve had another dope question. Why do you believe as men there's a stigmatism when it comes to vulnerable conversations, which is something that I've been wanting to actually talk about because chopped up with the boy Bash recently. You know, we had like a pretty we talked for like 3 hours. Just had like a heart to heart, caught up on like some life stuff, and you know, I think having that conversation kind of like inspired me to eventually want to start my own podcast in the future. I don't know when, but maintain relationships with and what we're doing. Because I feel like a lot of stuff gets like swept under the rug, like especially in the business world, content creation world, entrepreneur world, whatever. And just like talking about some real shit. Just like, how you doing today, bro? Like really, how are you doing? Like going in more in depth about that stuff. And, I think the stigmatism comes from men is I feel like we just shell up a lot, like our feelings. We're also just by nature programmed to kind of just like shoulder everything and handle stuff ourselves. I've never been the type of person to ask for handouts or make an excuse or whatever. I always look at myself in the mirror and it's like, even when we have people doing more stuff than us or, they seem, in perception's everything, right? Like they seem to be doing more than what we're doing or whatever. And, I just tell myself and I, tell everyone else, I'm like, we just got to work harder. Like, we want to be, popular on socials or we want to have a self-sustaining, 7-8 figure business. Like we got to like just do more. And if that's, sacrificing, if that's like looking yourself in the mirror and it's like, damn, what did I do this week? Did I just go home and bullshit? Did I game? Did I, just watch TV? Like when you start like really like self-reflecting, and then like you're like, okay, like I can correct this, then I feel like you kind of own and take that power. But I think vulnerable conversations, especially with amongst friends, I think is something that needs to be like highlighted more because I feel at the end of the day we're all human, we're all going through our own things, and no one ever knows what anyone's going through if you're not talking about it or discussing it and sharing, with your friends and your family, like insight, getting information. You might have a friend that dealt with something similar that could give you advice, or you might have someone that might not even be close to you, but might, be able to give you some advice on something. But at least that's my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro. No, yeah.
We're getting deep.
I want to hear what you guys say, then.
What I have to say? Oh, why is it me? Let's see. Well, first of all, let's say, as someone who's had deep conversations with everybody in this room,
That's fair.
and just had like a bunch of shit happen this past year. I think the whole stigmatism of like, we're all men, we're supposed to just fucking handle it, and like you're supposed to deal with your own shit on your own, and we're alpha males, right? We're alpha males. Yeah. Well, we are. Yeah. Well, I think that plays a whole factor into it, because it's like it makes us look weak, and we all don't want to look weak. Unfortunately, we're supposed to all be that strong, independent, or dependable person that everyone is supposed to rely on at the end of the day. A lot of people here in this room are firstborn sons, or like you were like the next if we were to go into hierarchies and things like that, type shit. You did type shit. Yes, pussy. Yeah, type shit.
I think we all are, low key. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
type
I
shit.
didn't think about that. Yeah, brother.
We're like next up type
Nah,
shit.
yeah.
Type shit.
It's like
Type shit.
Type shit.
yeah, type shit. But it's just one of those things. Having those conversations, though, that I've come to realize are needed, because me working in the field of work that I do, like being in a trade,
Laying pipe.
Laying pipe, yeah.
being in a trade, dude, there are some people out there who have some issues that make my issues look like nothing. But even then, it's how we handle the issues. That's how I look at it. Like I said, I work with a bunch of guys, and they straight up is just, it's like, I feel like I'm on like a football team, or like I'm on a part of a team. I feel like I'm hanging out with y'all all day. It really does. But I know those guys, like whenever we talk about like, anytime our feelings come up or anything like that, we use a certain word. We're not gonna say it here, but it's just, it's like, don't act like that. Hold away. Yeah. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not what people are known to, and especially the older group. Like the guy I work with has like maybe 20 years on me. Anytime we talk about like anything a little like it's in your feelings or whatever, he's like, stop being a bitch. Like just man the fuck up and let's fucking get this shit done. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother, let's fucking do it.
I guess, let's go.
Yeah. But then there's times when he gets a little vulnerable, and I'm like, oh, I'll listen to you, bro. Like, I got you. Because there's a difference between us. While like us, the younger guys, we're like, I don't mind having those conversations. Yeah. But I know those conversations can be hard to have. Those aren't easy conversations.
Not at all.
Everyone's vulnerable. You feel like, the best way to put it, you feel like you're naked, and you're like, all right, dude, like, what's up, brother?
We're just going.
We're just exactly.
What are we doing
it's
now?
like, where's this going?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that is like just like that toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
like
unfortunately,
we're
still men, though.
There is times where you gotta like
be a man.
You gotta be like that. You gotta like be real with yourself. But there's also times where you have to validate your like mental health and there's other people's feelings too. Like there's nothing wrong with being a little vulnerable and listening to somebody or being compassionate, because that's just not how life is, right? Like you can't just be like a hard ass all the time. Most of the people that are like that have other stuff going on, or they're insecure about it, or they can't talk about things. And I think when you're able to actually be vulnerable and talk about like your feelings or other stuff you got going on, I think that makes you more manly, really, because you're able to actually departmentalize like what's going on, and like this is how I got to handle it, and like being okay showing vulnerability, like that's not a sign of weakness. Like if you're able to show emotion in situations, then that's like a sign of strength, really, because I feel like if you just mask things and avoid it all the time, because I used to be like that, right? So like that shows that you're not able to kind of express that other part of you. And like when you're a kid and stuff, like that's very normal. Like you get upset at school, like you're able to usually talk about it with your loved ones, or if you're like questioning why this is not going my way, like, oh, I keep losing jobs, or I'm not able to, this kid is better than me at football, and like I just don't understand why, like just stuff like that. Like you can kind of like understand that, because that's just how life is. Like there's gonna be ups and downs all the time. Like there's gonna be people that are better than you at something, there's gonna be people that do you wrong, and you got to figure out how to like address that situation. Are you gonna address it how they did you? Sometimes you got to be the bigger person and just I want you to win whatever you decide to do, but just not with me, and you just got to move on. And I think when you're able to start doing stuff like that, then you're able to really progress. So.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've learned this past year with having a lot of time and like kind of sitting with my emotions and kind of like realize like learning from it, or like, all right, why am I feeling this way? What, like, what's going on, and trying to break it down a little more. It's like real helped like tap in with having those conversations, because like there's many times where I've called these three right here, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm kind of crying, what's up? And like, like just some problem going on, and it's like, all right, I know these guys will help talk me through it or whatever. But then there have been times where, like, me personally, where I felt like I've overshared, where I felt like it was one of those things where I felt like a broken record. And so I do get the point where having those conversations are good, but it's just, is it a good conversation?
Yeah, it's like also like if your friend's having a conversation with you, it's also being man enough to like actually take their like listen to them. You don't have to take their advice, but just listen.
Yeah.
And then basically be open to changing your opinion and viewpoints on stuff.
Yeah, and I think, just like you are saying, like I feel like that's something I want to be better about this year, is like getting to know everyone in a deeper capacity. That's, going, hanging out one-on-one. Come on now. Like if that's hanging out one-on-one, or, just, learning more about like people I'm not as close with. Like I was telling y'all, like, me, Carlos, and Zay went to San Antonio, and
He's pretty cool. Huh?
Yeah,
TBH,
TBH,
but like,
cool.
but like,
funny.
but like us three, like we've never been in like a situation where it was just us three. So like that was like fun, like unique, like getting to like, chop it up, do something also beneficial to the brand, but just,
Which was fun.
yeah, but just like hanging out, I think like that's important, and that'll kind of keep this thing going, right? Like at times, like I'd mentioned in the past, like I felt like we've been cliquish the last couple of years.
Yeah,
We've been doing this, and like some people know other stuff in the group and whatnot, but I feel like as a collective, like the more in tune our relationships get together, or the more in tune our relationships are with each other, the better we're gonna.
The brand is
the better
better
we're
for
gonna
the
be.
brand.
You're also gonna know how to talk to everyone. Like you can't talk to everyone the same way. Like
Right.
I
Oh,
can,
yeah.
like with some people I can be more like direct, assertive, things like that. Some people I gotta kind of like paint a picture and show them like kind of the full vision.
Right.
Some people I gotta like have them talk to me like about their feelings. So, and vice versa, I feel like for everyone here. So
Right.
I think that'll be something that'll, hold true.
Hold on, because I wasn't. I didn't say kind of like
Yeah,
my
go
thoughts
ahead.
on that
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
like
go ahead,
men
bro.
and being masculine and shit. I feel like it's really like a generational thing, generational thing. You know what I mean? Like our parents are probably like that, so it's hard for us to kind of be comfortable with expressing our feelings with like one another if we weren't doing that with our parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't
kinda,
do that growing up.
Because it really starts there. You know what I mean? Like, thankfully, like my parents were, or at least my mom. No, not discrediting my dad or anything. I think he was a part of that generation where it's like, oh, I'm a man. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna do these things. Like, which like, it kind of has helped me. Of course, with the business and just kind of life. Like whatever I go through, I know that, I'm gonna have to be the one to figure it out. And regardless of, we have people in our lives that can help us and everything, but like, I'm gonna get it done because like, I'm the man, like
'Cause at the end of the day, who has you?
right, exactly. So it's like, if you, weren't able to express your feelings and stuff to your parents or even a sibling or whatever, it's gonna be hard for you to do that with your friends. But I feel like we've built up a good relationship with one another where we're able to be vulnerable with each other, and we're able to talk about the things that are going on in our life. And I feel like it just, I don't know, bro. Like I feel like I've always encouraged that. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to tell me everything that's going on in your life. Like what I mean? Some stuff kind of stays between you and your significant other or whatever it may be. But it's like if there's anything going on in your life, I feel like we're all. We've done a good job of being able to express that, regardless of what it is, like family, relationships, whatever. It's or even anything between us. I feel like we're at a good point where, if we're not seeing eye to eye, or if we're not, something's not pushing the brand forward, we're able to have those conversations. And I feel like it just kind of goes to show that like, it kind of starts with us. I mean, going back to what Zay said, I didn't really think about that. Like we're all like firstborn males in our family, not trying to sound like a head ass, but like we're kind of like the start of like our like lineage type shit. Like if we're you know, not trying to like get all like deep and shit, but like we're like the whatever we decide like goes on is like we're gonna be able to like provide for the rest of our family type shit. So, but you know, I feel like it like boils down to it being like a generational thing. You know, and I feel like we're kind of like the shift of the generation. So I'm
like,
not worried about that.
middle.
Yeah, like we're, you know, we understand that like yes, we are men, we're gonna get shit done, but like we also are able to people we love, people we cherish, like we're able to like make ourselves vulnerable to one another because we know that like we're not gonna like use that against us because I feel like that was, you know, like the older generation, that's probably how they think, like, oh, like this is a sign of weakness when like you were saying it is kind of like a sign of strength that you're able to express how you feel to someone regardless if it's great or if it's like at your lowest point of your life. So
That's awkward.
but yeah.
They're all empty,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go off that. I also think it depends on who you have like around you.
Right.
Yeah, I was just about to
You have to
say
surround
that.
yourself with people that like obviously you're not, you know, doing that to just
Yeah.
Joe Schmo on the side of
Yeah.
the road, but like yeah.
But like having those like people with that connection or like that person or that significant other, like having that person there to like, you know, oh, it's nice being all macho at the, you know, throughout the day, but like to have that person to go to be like,
bro, this
damn,
is
man,
what's
I had a
going
hard
on.
day.
Yeah.
Like, girl, listen to my day.
Right,
Type
like,
shit.
you know, that
like,
shit.
you know, having that person or like just even, you know, like going to y'all, it's like, you know, that's why I call that's why when I call y'all and y'all always like, you're calling at an awkward time.
I'm taking shit, dude. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
It is always it's always at the weirdest
Yeah.
times.
You gotta, like,
you know what I mean?
you gotta
Like, when
text
you're
them.
like trying to have like a
Be
deep
like,
talk.
hey,
It's like
busy? Can I call you?
yeah, it's like, fuck.
But yeah, I mean,
Kinda,
and
but
just being playing devil's advocate for like both sides of this like that.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe like the men like, and I don't think this is really the case most of the time, but the men that's like maybe they went out and tried to talk to someone about it, but like they've had that like whole like thing thrown back in their face like later on.
Right.
So
No,
it's,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like
know
once,
who to talk
You have,
to.
Yeah.
exactly.
so it's like if you go to someone and you go talk to them about some situation, they like bring it up later on, like, and you were actually like very upset about it. It wasn't like some like a ha situation,
Right.
Like they're actually upset about it, and like they're like, hey, like, dude, you remember? And it's like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. Or they like go and yap to someone else and they're like, oh, bro, you hear what's going on?
Right, right.
And then it's like, oh, bro, how you know about that?
Right.
Yeah,
For sure.
I only told one person.
Yeah,
How do you know?
It's like who it is. Like you said, you know who you could tell certain things to. And
Yeah, you know
be
who you can be vulnerable with
right?
and all
yeah.
that.
But yeah, bro, that was a great question.
Would you like your input on this? I feel like yours would be really good. Okay.
Yeah,
Great
last thing I'll say is I think it's all about being able to provide each other with good feedback too, and that's in any capacity. If that's, you know, and as a friend, you know, whatever your relationship is with that person, if that's with, you know, what we're trying to do in this business, being able to be honest with someone, being like, I think you could have did this better, or why did you do it this way, or, you know, you could communicate this better with everyone, so we all kind of are on the same page, and, you know, being more attentive with those things, you know, even if it's, you know, it's hard. I feel like that's another thing too. Like, it's hard with like what we're doing because like no one's on like a payroll yet, so it's like hard to be like, no, you need to do this at this time, and like, you know, because you're making money or whatever. So like, but so it's like hard to kind of like, it's a hard thing to do, and I think for any business owner that is trying to start something out, and you have people, you know, maybe doing a lot of stuff for free or for, you know, very minimal payment, like you got to be able to have that relationship with them to where they kind of see that long-term vision, so where they're able to not only trust in what you're doing, but they're also able to continue to kind of deliver what they would be doing if they were, you know, receiving money or monetary compensation on it. So I think, you know, and I think that's something we've gotten good with, and especially better with this year. I think we all kind of know, like, we have kind of had our hurdles, our bumps in the road, things like that. And I think we're all now at a point to where we're like, okay, we just got to do the unsexy shit to be able to do the sexy shit, right? And that, and, you know,
We got
whatever,
a little dirty.
and whatever that takes, you know, if that's, you know, grinding on a podcast and making clips of it, or shooting consistently, or, you know, sacrificing, you know, some stuff on the weekend. It's like, oh, I got to say no because I got to do this with the media company, or I got to, you know, do this with other areas, right? And I mean, I showed you guys that Samataro analytics after the first couple of days. And I was just like, look, like when we actually like put our mind to something, execute it properly, and there was things we could have did better in that shoot that we apply it to the next one or the next opportunity we get like that we can continue to like build on those. And I think it's like very motivating to see like a TikTok gain us like 300 followers or 400 followers on an app. It's like, bro, if we just like put that level of content out consistently, like it's only a matter of time, right? So I'm excited for that. And that's it from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it from Zay.
Yeah, I was
That
about to
is
say,
great.
bro, it's just it's super dope seeing, you know, everyone's progression. You know, I want to bring it up because, you know, like who would have thought that we would be doing this, you know, however many years into it, regardless of. I feel like for me, it's dope seeing like everyone figuring out what exactly they want to do with the brand, and you know, like kind of locking in with that. Like, okay, like I can specialize in whatever it is to help push what we're really trying to do forward, and whatever that is. You know what I mean? And you know, shout out to everyone. I just want to say, you know, I always appreciate. You know, we don't really get to do this a lot, so it's cool getting, you know, everyone's not even here too. That's the crazy thing. So
Yeah,
you know,
missing a couple
whenever we could get everyone here, you know, that shit will be super fire.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to show what we got planned for this year. We got some big things. So
Absolutely.
super excited, bro.
Yeah. If you guys are new here, be sure to like, comment, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching this at. Follow the boys at parkedcartalks for all their content. Obviously, follow Opinionated Media, Opinionated Sports. If you're into sports, we got basketball, football over there. And we'll see you guys for the next roundtable. See you guys next month. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
You ready?